Alrighty, gang. Uh, I was gonna do this video here Saturday, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do this here right now. The community rebalance vote. So we'll click on that there, and then we'll go through and we'll do all the usual stuff. Should have probably logged into Google, but whatever. We'll we'll do that there off screen. The submitting of the choices and whatnot, because they give us a list of characters here: Gertrude, Dane Whitman, Super Scroll, Ghost, Namora, Dazzler, North Star, Hydra Stomper, MODOK, and Cosmo. Now, I've been around the block a few times. When you want to get certain, how do I say it, certain information to be filtered one way or another, you put three obvious choices on there. You put three choices that you know have plausible chances of happening, but probably not gonna happen. And you have ones that that are just the wrong choice, indeed. So you can kind of see how the development team is kind of maneuvering us, so to speak. So we'll go through each of the characters and determine whether or not they're they really need a rebalance. And no, I'm not paying $100 for no 5-star ascended Nightcrawler, uh, 4-star Black Bolt, and 2 legendary tokens and some extra swords seasonal vaults. That ain't gonna happen. The 4 stars, we'll go with Gertrude first. Alright. Our yellow is actually decent-ish. What I mean by decent-ish, if either her or her allies takes 10% of the current health and damage, for the yellow countdown tiles, deal damage, and then improve a friendly strike attack or protect tile for for every runaway on the team. At lower percentages, well, lower levels it's a lower percentage, but it caps out at about 10%, which in 5-star land, yeah, you'll be triggering this here every turn if they lowered the percentage some. We're not gonna go stupid and say 5%. That's just stupid. Or if we go down to 2%, that's just really stupid. Because it'll be every time you make a match 4, it's like, oh, this here triggers like that. That'll be really annoying. Recover clause. Fuse 5 basic tiles become trap tiles. If match destroyed by the enemy, they'll deal damage plus additional damage for every runaway. If there's another runaway on the team, this is a pretty solid ability, you know, because the AI is dumb when it comes to matches. And then Dino Strike. Okay, this one here kind of needs a little bit of a rework. The damage plus the additional damage for each strike attack or projectile combined that you have more than the enemy. If you get rid of the max, but I understand why the max is there, because you have someone like, oh, I don't know, Maria Hill. Yeah, that could just get dumb real quick. But Gertrude, she can stay as she is. Like, she's not really that big of a in need of a rework. This guy here, on the other hand, Black Knight. See, this is one of them obvious choices. And what's funny about Black Knight, this dude here was one of the contest winners for the 2024 character that the community wanted to release. Let's take a look at his green ability. Deals damage to enemy team, ignoring any any enemy projectiles. Creates 2 charge tiles, and if there are more than 4 charge tiles on the board, destroy a random row. And if there are 6 or more charge tiles on the board, destroy up to 2 enemy attack, protect, or strike tiles. And yeah, this is just terrible. What I would do for Black as a Soul, this here would be active and passive. I think I'd lower the AP to 7. Alright. Then, as I we'll put it at level 5 real quick. Start of each turn, Black Knight creates a charge tile, max of however many. Then, if there are more than so many charge tiles on the board, like he'll fire off the ability, he'll create more charge tiles on the board. Like the passive will have the max of 3, but you can create charge tiles continuously on the board. So you create 3 charge tiles. If there's 4 more, destroy a random row, or I'll say, yeah, we'll have it destroy a random row, and it can pop, strike, attack, or protect, invisibility, all countdown, any enemy special tile for this here, destroy up to so many enemy special tiles on the board. This one here, the 4 or more, it could pop strike, attack, or protect tiles, and then if it's more than 6, it does enemy strike. Any other enemy special tiles. All right, nighttime. This one here it's all right. Deals damage, and if one doesn't exist, creates a countdown tile. And while that countdown tile is on the board, Black Knight can't be downed, essentially. Then when the countdown tile expires, it restores health. You destroy 4 charge tiles. I don't mind the destroying the charge tiles. Don't mind the restoring the health. Don't mind that the countdown tile is fortified, and I actually don't mind the cost. This here could probably actually stay as is, because there's nothing too busted. And then Dane from above, he goes airborne for 2 turns. Passively, if he's airborne at the start of the turn, fortify a black friendly countdown tile, deal damage, prioritizing a non-target enemy, and then create protect tiles. And then whenever he returns from being airborne, he creates charge tiles. I think this one here needs to be reversed. When he's airborne at the start of the turn, create charge tiles. When he comes back from being airborne, convert some of those charge tiles to protect tiles. Or, there we go. There's his gimmick right there. Turn protect tiles or any enemy special tiles into charge tiles. Though it could be some shenanigans though with what's her face? Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Her and 5-star storm, and oh god, I don't even want to think about the madness that I would ensue with Mighty Thor. Oh god. Um, but yeah, Black Knight. This here is one of those obvious choices. So yeah, I don't know if he'd be my first choice, but I say he'd be my second choice for sure. All right, next up, Skrull. Now, Super Skrull is one of those characters where folks, when you see his powers, you're like, man, this man here sucks. But when you get him in action, is oh, I was not familiar with your game. Like, well, you'll hear me say that with a couple more characters. So, manifesting 7 AP blue move. Uh, there are some effects depending upon which member of the Fantastic Four you choose. If you choose Invisible Woman, he'll create yellow invisibility tiles, and if they happen to be master destroyed, then you deal damage to the target. If you choose Mr. Fantastic, you create projectiles, replacing any enemy strike attack and projectiles before basic tiles. The new hotness, torch, one turn repeater, red repeater that creates 5 strength, 111, 115 black attack tiles. And then, I think it's on any color, but usually it's black, whatever. And then finally, the next big thing, no, not Brock Lesnar. Yeah, not Brock Lesnar. I know I've made that joke several times, but it's the thing. It, it deals essentially about 60. Well, I know it's a little over 6,600 damage. But that's three times 20, 2266. And then if it happens to down the target, then it creates 3 black uh, attack tiles. See, that's where I got the black attack tiles from. All this here, all this here is fine, I guess. Okay, primarily, you're either using the new hotness or you use the thing to down somebody. If you need to go invisible, you do have that option as well. And again, this is at level 5. The absolutely fantastic. I would think if I were to add something to it, you convert those projectiles, and if any one of those projectiles happens to convert an enemy strike attack or projectile, stun somebody for a turn or however many turns. Force, force multiplier actually is pretty dope. Destroys a random 3x3 block of tiles and deal 80-30 damage to the enemy team. And if for every friendly special tile destroyed, you destroy an additional blue basic tile on the board. Dealing damage and generating AP only for those tiles, max of 5. I would lower it to 9, keep everything else pretty much the same again, but it being 10, got no problem with that there. Inevitable betrayal, passive and active. Creates a 3-turn countdown tile that shapeshifts Super Skrull into the target. Steals a burst of health from the target's allies each turn, and whenever the countdown tile expires, you steal strike attack or protect tiles from the enemy team. And then if the enemy team happens to fire a power while he's shapeshifted, then you improve a random friendly strike attack or projectile by the listed amount. What I would also do with inevitable betrayal, or with Super Skrull, I would have him create a special tile on the board if one doesn't exist while he's in inevitable betrayal. So that way, if the enemy happens to fire off a power, you got a strike, attack, or projectile to generate off of. Again, ideally you want to fire off manifest entity first, then inevitable betrayal, or force multiplier, then inevitable betrayal, so that way you got something on the board. Again, if they left them alone like this here, I got no problem with it. If they change Super Scroll, wouldn't have too many issues with that there either. Now the one that's really questionable on the list to me is Ghost. Um, Supply run costs 10, creates invisibility tiles targeting her, and if you match an invisibility tile, restore health to Ghost. Mm, I mean, you could cut it. You could probably cut it to 7, reduce the amount of health that she gets, or increase the amount of health that she gets if they're matched away. Uh, yeah, no. The main two things you're using Ghost for is Unfazed and Power Cycle. Unfazed, she deals damage to the target, and if she happens to be invisible, then she deals a massive amount of damage instead. Again, that sounds like 4-star Luke Cage, where if there are no enemy special tiles on the board, you deal a massive amount of damage. If not, you deal a questionable amount of damage. Again, in 4-star land at least. And in Power Cycle, at the pretty much at the start of the battle, her base match damage is increased by 300%. And then if she happens to fire off a power, um, then she creates a 3-turn countdown tile that generates red AP, and it becomes Stasis Protocol, and then her match damage is pretty much what it would normally be for 4 stars. And then when the countdown tile disappears, she gets her 300% match damage back. So Ghost is fine, and I use fine in air quotes, as she is. If there was a rebalance that needed to be done with her, probably with supply run and probably Unfazed. Power Cycle, you can kind of keep that how it is. They not only her firing off the power and then going back to base match damage and then generating red AP afterwards, I got no problem with that. Let's see here. Namora. Now I got her at 370, and she's actually fine as it is. Cut once, deal damage, gain 5 AP if the target's downed, and then her base and ability damage is increased for each blue basic tile on the board. No obstacles. Again, deals damage to the enemy team, destroys enemy projectiles. Matching ability damage is increased by 4% for each enemy projectile destroyer matched by allies up to 7. And then Empire's Might costs 6. Create trap tiles on her 4 colors, and if one of them happens to be matched, you deal damage, ignoring any projectiles. Still 2 AP in that tile's color, and you convert a random basic tile to blue. If I had to rework something, there probably would be no obstacles, and the rewording of her passives about the percentages gained, or the percentages gained. Whether you have a metric ton of blue tiles, yeah, she'll be hitting like a truck. But if your blue is kind of suspect to say the least, then she'll be hitting kind of weak. So again, I get it, because she's in the ocean and then she's fighting on land. I get that there. So she's, like I said, fine as it is. If they did make a rework, probably no obstacles. Cut once is fine, Empire's Might is fine. Dazzler. Now this one here is probably one of those options that, yeah, she definitely needs a rework. And this is one of the characters that the community is like, oh man, it's a Dazzler, is it Dazzler? At first it was a running joke, but then they're like, nah, seriously, is it Dazzler? The main thing would be Survivor would rework this here. If she would take 5% or more damage for every two friendly strike attack, or projectiles are on the board. Remove two enemy strike attack or projectiles, stun the target for a turn, and then empower four friendly random tiles by 17%. This also would target attack tiles. Pretty much just make this here a blanket um a blanket damage threshold thingy. I got I got the idea in my head. So 5% damage, cool. That when you're at 370, it's not gonna make that much of a difference. Um, you had to have a minimum of two friendly strike attack and projectiles on the board. That's that's pretty much mandatory. So I would have the stun last longer than one turn. Um, Obviously you're gonna remove the enemy strike attack and projectiles on the board, or you can have it to where if you have these two, no, because that would be kind of dumb. 'Cause then you have no way to trigger off the stun. I would, if if I was a shenanigans type of dude, which I am some days of the week, have it to where Dazzler would Dazzler would give a strike attack or projectile to the opponent, but she would take one of theirs and power it by whatever, then stun the target for one turn. Yeah, that'll probably, yeah, that would probably work. Again, this is spitballing here. Dance Floor Queen, this is her red ability, cost 7. Creates strike tiles of 261, and then for every additional 3 red AP she has, as far as out the power, you create strike tiles with a smaller amount. This should just be a consistent strength. Would I make them? Would I make the strike tiles a lot stronger, but have an increased red threshold? You could, but then we're starting to get into 2-star Wolverine territory, and nah, we ain't trying to do all that. Sounds Light and Fury. This one here, this should actually be a stun. So if I were to take the stun off of black and put it on green, or could you have two stuns with Dazzler? You could probably have two stuns with Dazzler. A active stun with her green ability deals damage to the enemy team plus additional damage for every friendly special tile on the board. Yeah, that could probably work. Make it a stun, and then take some stuff from Party Starter, from the Pocket Radio. Um, Then whenever Dazzler makes the match, create 2 red charge tiles on the board. So yeah, you can take the stuff from uh from her support. Anytime she makes a match, create charge tiles on the board. Um, then remove. Then for Survivor, remove charge tiles on the board. Yeah, remove charge tiles from the board, and then stun the target for 1 turn. And then Sounds of Light and Fury. If you have so many strike tiles on the board, stun the enemy team for 1 turn. You could probably get away with that there, and it wouldn't be a problem. But yeah, Dazzler's probably going to be number 3 for my third choice. North Star. I don't know why Jean Paul is up on here. When you look at Jean Paul and his little elf ears, it's like, man, this dude here, he kind of sucks. Prior to his rebalance that he got now, nah, that boy good. Again, he ain't top tier, but he's on that rung where it's like, okay, I was not aware of your game. Like I said with Super Scroll, running early, destroy chosen row, you deal damage, generating AP for every yellow, blue, and black tile that you destroy. So you can effectively get running early going. Star Bright cost 6. Converts basic tiles of the target's strongest color into blue, black, or yellow tiles, and then you create a 2-turn countdown tile, selecting a targeted ally, and while it's on the board, it grants a turn of invisibility and a burst health to the ally at the start of the turn. And then finally up north, this is just a stupid ability. Send the target airborne for 1 turn, remove up to 6 basic tiles and the enemy's second strongest color to the top of the board, dealing damage for each tile move, and then when the enemy lands, you do the same thing, but this time on the bottom of the board. Yeah, nah, North Star needs to stay exactly where he's at. He's fine. Hydra Stomper, yeah, there's my number 1 choice there. Hydra Stomper is so bad. Well, how bad is he? So bad that I don't even remember. I don't even remember his color. Okay, I'm lying about that. Frontline, convert 3 basic tiles to enemy team's weakest color to friendly projectile. Passively, if Peggy Carter is an ally, she can't be stunned, and Hydra Stomper can't be stunned. I mean, yay! I got some. I'm gonna be like Apocalypse. Anyway, Engine of War. First time Hydra Stomper makes a non-team up match each turn, destroy one friendly AP and enemy AP in the color that you matched, and then create a 3-turn countdown tile that generates AP in that color. If the match is made against a villain, the countdown tile makes. First of all, I want you to see where my Hydra Stomper's at. 338. Alright, if I bring anybody that's 339 and above in a fight, that happens to be yellow, green, and blue. So let's see how many yellow, green, and blue users I have. Alright. Invisible Woman, not obviously better than Hydra Stomper. Lockjaw, depending upon the board. Quake, she has her uses. Rockin' and Group, probably one of the top 3 or 4 characters in 4-star land. Wiccan, once he gets into Demiurge, stuff is just about to die. Carolina Dean, she has her uses. She can send herself airborne, burst heal the team, and create projectiles, and do team damage. Misty Knight, depending upon what you need, she can either destroy enemy fortified tiles, she can add attack tiles to the board in multiple colors, and depending upon who she has as an ally, she can burst heal. Frog, he can send himself airborne, create charged tiles, and then create even more charged tiles with his green ability. Like, yeah, I know. This one here just needs a massive rework. And then Stomp, this one here, a terrible ability too. Cost 10, destroys 9 random basic enemy or projectile. Basic enemy or projectile. And then for the rest of the turn, any new black tiles that fall are 2-turn countdown tiles that deal damage. Like, yeah, no, that is just bad. You just need a gigantic rework, and I don't even know where to even start at. Alright, last two, MODOK and Cosmo. MODOK is again one of those characters, oh, I was not aware of your game. Doomsday Plan, fine as it is, costs 7, creates a countdown tile, fortified countdown tile on the board. If we fire off a power, it makes the countdown tile go cheaper or go down faster. If the enemy fires off a power, then countdown tile goes up. When it reaches 0, deals a relative amount of damage to the opponent. Afterburner creates 3 attack tiles for the enemy team, and it converts basic tiles into red and deals damage to the target. Again, I got no problem with this here. And then finally, hammer for every nail. There are some effects depending upon how many times you fire it off. If you fire it off the first time, it creates 3 attack tiles. Then it fires off uh, three rockets, and you use all that in air quotes for 2713. So a little over 6. Oh, that's close to 8,000 damage right there. Again, if math is correct. So no. Needle for every stitch, 2-turn countdown tile that deals damage. Well, each deals damage. And then a laser. Yeah, no, I don't see why MODOK needs a rework. If you think of MODOK similar to the 3-star and 5-star Hawkeye, where his red ability is just those different arrows from Hawkeye, yeah. So no, MODOK does not need a rework. That's one of those traps, as Admiral Akbar would say. And then speaking of space and traps, yeah, Cosmo, yeah. Again, I don't see why Cosmo needs a rework. TK Field creates projectiles, fortifies up to 2 of them if you have at least 5. And then if a projectile or fortified tile happens to be matched away, then you deal damage to the enemy team. And then if Cosmo reaches below 30% health, then he creates 4 projectiles on the board. Again, pair him up with Black Panther, the 4-star Black Panther. Yeah, stuff is gonna get stupid real quick. No more Mr. Nice Dog. Deals damage to the enemy team plus an additional amount of damage for every 10% health his teammates are missing. That sounds like something that a 5-star half Thor would love to take advantage of. And it helped from nowhere. This one here is one of those abilities where I don't think half the community doesn't read what powers do. Convert random basic tiles of a chosen color to charge tiles of that color, and if any charge tiles happen to be matched away, the person who matched the tile can't fire off a power, and they lose 2 AP in the matched color. Yeah, yeah. Where does Cosmo need to rework at? I don't see it. All right. So again, that's my musings. Now again, my roster is completely out there, but I do feel the plight of the 4-star player. Now, I ask, what is the one character that I would like to see rebalanced? Probably main event Hulk. That's one option there. Uh, I'm trying to see here. Yondu's fine. Also, Bloodstone could be okay. If I really had to think about it, it's either gonna be Black Cat, it'll be Mantis, and main event Hulk. One of the three of them there. Because everybody else that I see, nah. All right, okay. Looking at my roster, yeah, I think I got my answer. Yeah, She-Hulk origin. Yeah, cause yeah, she's bad, like bad, bad, bad. So yeah, so these three are my choices here: Black Knight, Dazzler, North Star, and She-Hulk to be rebalanced. So that's that. We get up out of here. Send this here to them. I took way too long trying to, I guess, justify the rebalances or whatnot, but hopefully this will give you a little bit better of an understanding of some of these characters here. If not, hey, pick who you want to pick. Frankly, it doesn't matter to me because they're all reward bags. We'll be back at it Saturday to pull. No, I'm not paying $2 for this here. No. Now, does it hero points? Okay, cool. Yeah, them 374 plus these additional amount of CP, but I imagine 374 should get Namor and Mephisto pretty much not done and dusted, but they should have some levels on them. And then Agatha, well, she's already got 13 covers, which again, we'll go through all the details and all that there. More uh, best of fellow human beings, and I'm gonna be up out of here. Peace.